Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be analyzing the weekly pairs. We are going to the week of 16th June 2025. So we're going to be analyzing those pairs that we're going to be monitoring for the next week. So as usual, today I'm here with okay guys, as usual, subscribe to the channel and then we proceed with the video. It is not going to be a long video, so I'm going to include all the pairs there. So we're going to 200 subscribers, we're almost there. So subscribe to the channel 5 seconds and then I'll be taking you through the video. So guys, kindly subscribe 5 seconds and then we proceed. Okay, so now we can proceed. We are going to start with Euro USD. I had a request from the comment section. Someone was asking, can we which weekly candle do we use, or do we choose any weekly candle? Then another one was asking, can you do it starting with the fresh week, such that we can know what to expect? Yes, so that's what I'm going to do exactly. Today it is Sunday, Sunday 15th June 2025. So I'm going to do it and then I upload the video. So we are going to go straight to gold, the pairs that I'm going to be monitoring this week. So we're going to go straight to gold, weekly time frame, and then we start from that pair. So gold, on gold we have first things first, we look at the trend of the market. What is the trend? It is an uptrend, so meaning we are going up. If I draw the trend line there, you can clearly see that we are going up. So buys would make more sense than sells. That means we shall be looking more for buys than sells on gold, but it doesn't mean that we cannot sell, because there are always retracements. So I'll just remove this trend line and then we go. So gold, last week, the previous weeks, it has been consolidating, but finally it has broken out of the consolidation fully. So we started here, created a demand zone, gold pushed up, did not come back to give us an entry here, a demand zone. So it kept on going up. Then it has been consolidating for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks consolidation. Finally, last week it broke out of the consolidation. So now we are expecting gold to continue rolling up. However, there might be a small retracement. So if it is there, where is it going to be, or how are we going to be entering into gold? Okay, so let's go. So first things first, the trend is up. Second, we mark our previous week's candle, that is, mark the high and the low. High and low of that candle, opening price and the closing price. So we have marked it. Good. So after marking the opening price and the closing price, then you drop down to the medium time frame, or to a time frame below. Remember, gold has been going up. Weekly is up. We come to the daily, it is also up. High, higher, low, high, higher, low, high. So gold has put in a high, so we expect a higher low and then go up. But with gold, anything can happen. You might be expecting a higher low and continues going up. You must be expecting a higher low and then it creates a lower a lower low. Okay, so now these lines that I've marked, the opening price and closing price of that week. So this week opened from here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 opened from here, and then went up for the remaining days. So first things first, what do you see? You see a demand zone down here. This is a daily time frame. You see a demand zone down here on the opening price of that week, and there is a break of structure here. There's a demand zone down here, there's a break of structure here. Okay, so this is the opening price, this is the closing price. So we go down to the lower time frame to refine our zones. So when you come back to the lower time frame, what do you see? You see a demand zone here. You see another demand zone here, clear one. This is decision candles, engulfing candle, and went up. However, this demand zone did not break a significant structure, but you see another one here. This demand zone you're seeing here, it is a rally base rally demand zone, which is also on the same level as this support, this resistance, which now turned into support. You see, this was a resistance. Price tapped the second time, dropped, first one dropped, second dropped, third time dropped, and then finally it was broken here, used as support. It was resistance, then it was used as support, and then price shot up, so creating another demand zone in this area like that. So we have two demand zones. You have one on the 4-hour for rally, and then this is support and resistance. This is resistance turning into support. So it was supported here and price shot up. And then we have another one at the extreme down. Now, which one are we going to consider? One, the laws of supply and demand state clearly that if we have two contradicting demand zones, we consider the extreme demand zone. However, in this case, I wouldn't want to consider the extreme demand zone because you can see a clear resistance here. It was broken, turned into support, and then gave us a clear demand zone. So meaning, if price is to come back, I don't think it is going to come back up to down here because price is in an uptrend. So the more probable zone that is going to come to is this zone, and then we push up. So how would your ideal entries be? You're going to enter from here, confidently enter from there, put your stop losses below this zone like that. That is around how many pips? 13. Then target the upside, which is around 46. That is a 1:3.4. However, so after it reaches here, remove some of your position and hold the rest to the upside because you don't know where price is going. If it continues up, you continue making your profit. That will be the ideal zone. However, if this zone fails, then we are going to be buying from the extreme zone down here. But I don't really think that this zone is going to fail. I don't think this zone is going to fail. I know it is going to hold. Last week it was a buy. I sent that trade on the channel. It is there. Buy from here. Price tapped in, went up high, up to when it broke this structure. So this is the demand that broke structure. And then there is a rally base rally, and then there is a support and resistance. Support turned into resistance, demand zone. So definitely I'll be going with this one here, more probable than the one at the bottom. So that is gold. Watch out on gold on those zones that I have mentioned there. So we shall proceed. So what we shall be waiting is we're waiting for price to come tap this area and then go to the upside. That is what we are waiting on, girl. Come drop here and then go to the outside. However, it isn't a guarantee. Price might decide not to come back, go up and then give us another demand zone here, or it might decide to come all the way down and test this area before it goes up. So you be careful about gold, but most probable zone is this one because we have a support and resistance. I think if I put on that one will be enough. Okay, so next we have Euro USD. We do the same thing. Go on the weekly on the weekly time frame. First thing first, what do? What is the trend of the market? trend of the market is bullish. Why? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. This mouse is disturbing me. Higher high, higher low, higher high, breaking this structure here, higher low, then higher high. So the trend of market is bullish. However, it is in the weekly supply zone, so we have to be careful about this area. So what do we do? For things first, we mark the closing price and the opening price of the weekly candle, like that. Do you see something else? Yes, there is a demand zone at that area, like that. So there's a demand zone here, and there is also support that turned into resistance on the weekly where there is a demand zone. You see support turned into resistance, and then there is also a demand zone in that area. So after, we proceed to the medium time frame to see if there are refinements we can do. Yes, we can move this one here. Yes, there are refinements we can do. You see there is a demand zone here, there is a rally, a base, a rally. So you're going to mark this demand zone well. You see this dodgy indecision candle, very clean demand zone, very clean decision candle, two bullish engulfing candles, leaving you with a demand zone there. So what is more probable? Just like on gold, you see something like this. You're expecting price to come here, tap into that zone and go to the upside. Why are you expecting that? Because price is in an uptrend. It is trending to the upside. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So you expect a higher low around this area, and then we should price to the moon. So we can go down to our entry time frames to refine that zone. Refine the zone. Like that. So it is like that, but however your stop loss has to be a little bit the downside, because the weekly doji is the daily doji is kind of big. So this area has been acting as a consolidation area for a long period of time, but finally price broke out, shot up. You see here, support, resistance, try to break out, then finally found a base there and shot up. So you're expecting price to come, retest this area and go back to the upside. So you'll be just like on gold, some things looking similar on Euro USD. So you'll be targeting something like, you target the opening closing price of the previous week, that is 120 pips, around 130 pips. I don't think Euro USD will come all the way down here. No, it might, but it is so unlikely. So it is not something I'm going to dwell on. Okay, so that is what we expect on now. Can we refine it further? No, it is still the same thing. So that is what we expect on Euro USD. Yes, rally, base, rally. Still the same, guys. That is what we expect on Euro USD for the coming week. Okay, so we proceed to NZD-USD. NZD-USD, something happened that okay, I'm going to explain. So they say, guys, simple and precise. It takes me like 2 minutes to analyze this pair. So this is NZD-USD. NZD-USD, we marked the previous candle like this last week. This is the week that has just ended last week, but one is this one, but this is the week that just ended, but it is a doji. So there's no marking that doji. So I'll just show you how we marked the previous candle. So this is previous candle, price was in an uptrend, a strong uptrend. So we marked our candle like that. However, see what happened is this was the opening price of the other week. Leave alone this week and just ended the other week. So price opened from here, 1 2 3 4 5, it opened from here, opened from here and closed from this red candle here. So the wicket just ended open from this week, from this candle here, went up and then came, retested this area, closed on the same, it closed on the same closing price of last week. I hope you get me. Price open, this was the closing price of last week but one. So the previous week open, this candle was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, closed on the closing price of that week. So what we are hoping is price will open, come and tap us in and take us to upside, and this is one of those trades that I'm counting on. NZD USD, price going to open, come and tap us in and then shoot to the upside. That is what I'm expecting. Do we have a zone? Yes, we have a zone, but it is very far away. That means if price opens, comes and gives us an entry here, we are taking NZD USD to the moon, guys, to the moon, around 400 pips in the middle there. So we go down to the lower time frame to refine our area. So it is still the same area. So I'm hoping now something that happened here is this was the closing day of the other week. So this week that ended opened and then went up, came and tested this small demand zone on the closing day, tried to go up but it failed. It has come again, tested, tried to go up but it failed, then closed on this same closing price. So what I'm expecting is price will open, come down here, tap us in and then go to the upside. That is what I'm expecting on NZD USD. However, I'll be monitoring to see what goes on, but it is what I'm expecting. So we marked this the other week, but price has been ranging. We still have some liquidity down here to be swept. I'm very sure this is a zone to buy from. We have another zone here, but remember we are in an uptrend, so we consider this first one. So I'm very sure price is going to tap us in on this, that is on NZD USD. I'm looking at this daily. It is a daily demand zone, and it's also a demand zone on the 4-hour. Broke structure, everything is aligning. Broke structure, let me see here. Yes, this is a picture perfect demand zone. We are buying from this area, guys. We are buying from this area. So broke structure, engulfing candle, incision candles. When price comes back, test that area. We are taking this up there, and when you put the position size calculator here, put your stop losses below, that's around 50. What are you targeting? You are targeting 300 pips. 300 pips to the upside. So we can be keen, that is 1:5. So we shall be keen on that trade. We shall be waiting. This week that is going to open. So we proceed and go to Chef JPY. Marked out my pairs, guys. Chef JPY. So Chef JPY, what do we see? It is in an uptrend. High, low, high, low, high. It is in uptrend. And where is the destination? We have a demand zone, a supply zone up here. So what do we do? First thing first, trend, we are going up. Second, mark the opening price and the closing price. So we'll mark like that, but I'll extend it further. Why? Because it is breaking this previous resistance I turned into support. So I'll just extend it further to accommodate that. Why I'll be showing you. And then the closing price of the weekly candle. Okay, so what is happening here? After marking and knowing the trend, then we go to the daily time frame. So on the daily, what do we see? Can just refine it here. It is very clear, guys. Very clear, and I like seeing this. So what happened is the daily created a demand zone. Why is this not working? To this one. The daily created a demand zone here. Where? Here. So price was resisting on this resistance area. Resisted, drop down, came, drop down, came, drop down. And then finally it broke out, gave us a demand zone, and then went to the upside. So what are we expecting? What we expect is price is going to come down here and then go to the upside. That is what we expect to see. We expect price to open, range a little bit, come, tap us in, and then take us to the upside. Of course, this is a high probability trade because why? We are moving with the trend. 2, it has given us a demand zone on the previous resistance that has turned into support. So we expect that trade to take up to the upside. So we go to the 4-hour lower time frame and then refine it to the, this is not the clearest demand zone that you'd want to see, but on the daily it is clear. However, here it's not clear. So it is also resistance, broken, demand zone, and then went up. So we expect this to come, tap us in, and then we go to the upside. Let me see if we can refine it further. Yeah, now here at least it looks clear. Here it looks clear. So we shall be waiting for it to come, tap us in, and then go to the upside on JPY. Simple and clean. Okay, so we proceed. Go to which other pair? US 100. US 100. US 100. Let's go to the weekly. That is NAS. Let's go to the weekly. So the weekly, we tapped into the weekly supply zone, tapped into it, and then we are looking like we are dropping down. So how do we go about this? Get the opening price and closing price of the weekly candle. Good. Then after, what is the trend? Trend has been bullish, however it has tapped into a supply zone, so we expect a little bit retracement. So you go to the daily. What do you see on the daily? You can refine this up to here. Okay, what do you see on the daily? The daily, we have a demand zone here. I already refined it, but I can just mark it. Have a big demand zone there. So price has broken out during a demand zone here, and it's now looking like it's coming back. And we also have another one, supply zone here. So I expect price to come down here and then buy. However, how do you go about that? Go to the lower time frame and refine. So this one looks like, on the daily looks like it was tested, but on the 4-hour it is still clean, not yet tested. We have equal lows here, areas of liquidity, and then we have our zone refined up to this area there. Our zone refined up to this area here. So we expect price to can go back a little bit, which I don't expect. I expect price to break down, come here, and then buy. Why? Because this was a high, low, high, low, high, high, low. Then this is a higher low, a lower, this is a lower high, and then it broke structure here, broke structure, even breaking this demand zone, and then went back to retest, looking like it is coming down. So I expect this one to come down up to this level here, and then we shall be looking for buys. However, in order to make it a high probability, we shall buy with confirmation from the lower time frame, like the 15 minutes confirmation, and then we buy to the upside. So I hope I have taken you through and you have understood how to mark your weekly candles and how to go about trading them. That is what I'm expecting going to next week. So that is all, guys. If you have liked the video, you can subscribe to the channel. Also, if anything is not clear, we shall be going through them next week and monitoring the zone to see what is going to happen. Comment if there's anything you want me to do a video about, and then I'll make some research and do a video about that, explaining what can happen in such circumstances. So we shall be waiting patiently next week to see if our zones are mitigated, and then we shall be looking to take them to the upside. Most of them have been buys, I think. Yes, all of them have been buys. We didn't have a sell on any. However, I saw something on USD card. Let me just talk about USD card a little, which is looking like a sell. USD card, where are you? USD card, USD chef. I think it is card. Card, yeah. Let me start on the weekly and see. So on USD card, we had this weekly, if you could mark it well. And by the way, in the previous videos I've been telling you USD card is selling up to the demand zone and it's almost reaching there. I think I told you last week we were here, that we are going down here, so we are almost reaching there. Okay, so we have marked it well, and then we see something like a supply zone, this small candle here. So it's just mark it, and then we go to the daily. So when you go to the daily, you see a refined supply zone that was even tested. This is the issue now. This one was even tested. Here, if I mark it to the week, you see, it was tested, and then immediately after being tested, I think it was the week opened here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So it was tested on Friday, and then dropped. It is looking going down there to the demand zone that I told you. So that one is already tested. I don't see anything. Maybe there is one here for our demand zone. If I can refine it to lower TF, there is one on the 1 hour. It is clean, by the way. It is a clean demand zone. So we have support turned into resistance, because support, demand zone, then we broke. We even broke this area here. So I expect something like, if you want to see that support turns into resistance, come here. See that sharp corner there? Like that. Where is it? Like that. Good. So that is support turns into resistance, and this is the demand zone. Look at the good, beautiful move away. So what I'm expecting is price might come back. Where is this? Come back here, test, and then come to the demand zone where now we shall be looking for buys. That is what I'm expecting for next week on USD card. USD card. Yes, there's a very clean supply zone here, which is a drop, this drop, but this is support turns into resistance. So there's a demand zone, there's support and resistance. Very clear setup on USD card. Let me just mark it. USD card, we shall be looking for tap here, and then we sell into the demand zone starting from next week. So I'm just going to set buy sell limits in this area, because the market is going to open at night, and by the time it opens I might be sleeping. So just put my sell limits there. Risking 20 pips to make. First target is 36 to make 1.7. Then the second target is, I think, 100. 100 will not reach. Ideally I should be taking out from here, maybe 70 there, like that. 1:3. 1:3. So that is it. We have broken the supply zone here. This is more valid, guys. More valid. We are in a downtrend. Where is my trend line? We are in a clear downtrend. We're going to the upside, so you don't expect price to go beyond this trend line. This is the first touch, this is the second touch, so the third touch is coming in around this area. If it is going to be there, it is coming in around this area, and then we shall drop to the downside. That is on USD card. Drop to the downside, up to the demand zone, and then we start looking for buys if they are going to be there. So that was I'm hoping. There is a demand zone here which was broken with this huge move to the downside. That is one reason. And then there is a support here which was broken and then left here demand zone, or a supply zone turns into resistance. So price will come to the resistance, meeting a supply zone, also meeting a trend line. This is a high probability trade, and then we send it down here. Okay guys, so that is all for today. You can subscribe to the channel if you've liked the video. You can like and share. Also, in case there is anything guys ask, I'll be able to support. Okay guys, that is all for this week. Bye.